My name is Jacqueline Brinkman. I'm the CEO with Economic Development Australia. Welcome to today's webinar, which is all about shining a spotlight on sister city relationships and how they are, of course, evolving in these changing times.
No one can predict into the future exactly what are the winning industries that are going to pop up. We've got a fair idea at this point in time, but in 2 years' time, in 3 years' time, in 5 years' times, there could be other industries that pop up that could be just gold for our regions. In any industry, not just within the world of councils, but in any industry, there are always a handful of tier one players. Basically, these are the people who are the first ones to get opportunities and to capitalize on those opportunities. And then there are always, there's a much larger outer circle of tier two players. Think about this in the context of economic development. Let's say, for example, Austrade or your Tourism Australia, or perhaps your state's tourism organizations, when they've got some great opportunities to share, they will typically go straight to their tier one players, small group of players. Now, within those players, if someone doesn't like a particular opportunity, they'll pass it on to the next person within the tier group, within the tier one group. Eventually, if no one in that tier one group likes that particular opportunity or thinks it's a good fit for them, then they kick it out to the outer circle. So basically, there's a handful of tier one players who have all the big opportunities, and then unfortunately, you do have all the tier two players. Now, what I think will happen here is that we are going to see a seismic shift in the hierarchy of goods and services, the types of goods and services, the types of new industries that are coming in, and that is going to impact on this tier one and tier two set of players. So tier one players who traditionally were on the inner circle, if they're not able to respond quickly enough to new opportunities, to new industries, to new sister city relationships, for example, then they will probably find themselves booted out into the outer circle. This is good news, though. That means that there is a window of opportunity for anyone else to become a tier one player. Now, I won't go into too much detail, but that's kind of helps explain the background as to your question about why we wanted to take a contemporary approach. Now, before I pass it back to you, Mani, I thought I'd just share with you the mindset of tier one players. So the mindset, three key things that I've observed. Number one is that it is a mindset of rapid decision making, recognizing that things are going to change over the next few years, over the next decade. And so we need an ability to not set and forget, but to be able to make pretty quick decisions and respond quickly. The second thing related to that is that when it comes to our sister city relationships, again, what the relationship looks like 10 years ago has to evolve to respond to these changing situations. And the third key thing here is that, there is a mindset of influencing. It's not being a passive partner in a relationship, but it's actually using those partnerships to influence the type of investment, the types of knowledge exchanges that we want to get.